Okay, today we are checking out a little Christmas horror shit. And I gotta put on the hat, cause Santa Claus hat, you know. I look good. Hold up. There we go. Well, we broke out here. I know this ain't I don't know how this look on camera. It look alright. I don't got no money in nothing, but this is like the cheapest hat I can find. Alright, we about to check out this 3 horror Santa Claus stories. Shit, it's gonna look right with the headphones. Well, we checking it out. I got a video coming out about Santa Claus. It might come out today, it might come out tomorrow, whenever this video come out. And I'm gonna show you the
everything
little clip
I've done
here
to make everybody happy, and nobody can make me happy. Here you go, Santa. This is the last drink you'll ever have.
Bing bong. Them dogs at your front yard. Bing bong. Alright, I'm chilling. I love horror. Horror story party. Hold up. Y'all catching them subtitles?
A few years back, my family went to Universal for Christmas. It was around that time that they just opened up their new replica of Willy
Charlie and the
Wonka's
Chocolate Factory.
And my friend and I both wanted to go. Neither of us were loaded enough to stay at the resort inside the park, but we were able to get rooms in the same cheap
Is this a real place?
just a few miles away.
Hey yo, let me know where is this.
My memory of that weekend is.
Oh, did he?
I clearly recall the day we spent parked together was a blast. Everything was festively decorated and covered in snow. A big deal for Florida boys.
Okay.
After a long day of walking through the park and visiting all the attractions,
Florida
picking out on
boys,
various chocolate
Island boys,
culinary concoctions at the chocolate factory, and coercing our parents into buying a bunch of gifts, the sun was setting on our Christmas vacation.
So this is Universal. They got a whole theme park with chocolate. Well, obviously, chocolate factory, Universal, all that. Okay, never mind. I didn't pause the video.
However, we still had one more night at the hotel. Our parents had planned this in advance and had gotten a little too drunk to drive all the way home. While our parents were passed out in bed, my friend and I couldn't sleep. Our minds were buzzing with all the things we'd done that day, and we didn't want it to end just yet. We were doing each other
he's
on a
going
mobile
crazy.
When he messaged me, "Yo, I saw a gym on the way up. You want to race on the treadmills?" My feet were still sore from all the walking, but it seemed like a good way to blow off some steam.
How's that happen?
Sure, but how do we get in?
Race on the treadmill?
Don't worry about it. I'll use my room key. Just meet me up.
What do? The first thing that comes to my head is you racing at speeds. Because if somebody's running at a 6 and you running at a 12, you run the race. Racing on the treadmills. I'm chill. I know I'm talking too much. If it's the first time seeing me, I'm sorry.
On my floor.
Bing bong.
That meant I'd have to sneak out and go downstairs, but that wouldn't be hard. My parents were out cold. The only trouble I had was finding where they put the room key so I could get back in unnoticed. It took several tense minutes of digging through my mother's purse in the dark, but I finally found it. I carefully opened the door and slipped out, heading quickly for the elevator. I only got a few steps in before I heard somebody walking behind me.
How old is this kid?
I stopped
He's walking out like that.
And immediately got stranger danger vibes. There was a man standing in the hallway, half dressed as Santa Claus.
Yo, his eyes is getting me.
I mean, he was half naked. All he had on were the boots, the fake beard, and a stocking cap, along with the most strange pair of stained briefs I've ever seen. Other than that, he carried a flimsy red sack that didn't look very full at all. I immediately spun back around and started power walking to the elevator. I heard him shuffling behind me, trying to catch up. When I got to the elevator, I spammed the down arrow. I knew
this is real life. That'd be creepy as hell, though. I'm not even gonna lie. But how he animated is funny.
By the time the doors finally opened, I could feel the creep right behind me, breathing down.
Hey, yo.
Well, aren't you going in?
You can go first.
No problem, my little angel.
I stepped aside and let him through. As he boarded the elevator, he sang.
You ain't getting on the same elevator as me.
All I want for Christmas is you.
This is the time. This is time when you pull the strap out I ain't. I'm just chill, bro. I don't. My mind goes straight to.
He retrieved something from his link sack and stretched his arm through the doorway, holding an unwrapped candy cane. There was a bunch of red lint from the sack stuck onto it.
The candy cane, make it
not
sharp.
Wanting to aggravate him for any reason, I took it without any intention of eating it. Finally, he dropped his arm and cleared the doorway. We stared at each other for a few unbearable seconds, until at last the door slid closed and I was freed from his gaze. I didn't see him push any buttons, so I was worried he would open the door.
You better run around that corner
at any second.
Run!
To make sure I didn't run into him again, I took the stairs down to my friend's.
Don't do that, bro. Come on. That's like the worst thing you can do. You gotta go down the steps.
My woes were not done for the night. The first thing I saw when I opened the door into the hallway
waiting for you. Oh,
was my friend having a seizure. I dropped the candy cane and rushed to him, calling
he
out
took
for
the
help.
candy cane.
Help! Help! Somebody call the cops! Help! My friend was frothing at the mouth, his eyes pure white from rolling back into his head, thrashing violently.
Hold up. Did you just go to a amusement park with a drug addict? That'll ruin you. That'll ruin your trip. But before I assume too much. We'll see if this is linked to Santa Claus or not. All right.
Despite all my attempts to calm him down, there was nothing I could do. It wasn't until he'd already gone limp and unresponsive that people finally emerged from their rooms to see what was going on. I'm no doctor, but I knew at that point he was already dead.
Hey,
Nobody ever talks about how people empty their bowels and bladder in their moment of death. I'm not a detective either, but I had a pretty good idea as to what had killed him. Clutched in his dying grip was the same kind of dusty, unwrapped candy cane that the half-naked Santa had given me.
Why'd you?
In the following month.
Are you telling me y'all gonna eat unwrapped candy? He took that out of his pocket. He could have. What did he do? Lint? You think that's lint? Nah. That ain't lint. That's death. That's a death cane right there. It's not even funny. I don't even know how this laughs.
I was subpoenaed to testify against that worthless turd of a man. And
they found him?
During my appearances in the court, I got to learn far more.
They better not show he got the outfit on.
The hotel security cameras had ample footage of the man stalking multiple people in the hallways and trying to offer them his candy canes, which he laced with some kind of extremely potent poison. No matter how many times he raved about it, I'll never understand his delusional motive. Something about bringing people closer together.
He looked like an anime character
by sending them all to heaven. I don't even care.
Like an anime villain or something.
But the civil suit against the hotel is still going on. I hope my friend's parents get a fortune from that hotel for their negligence. Letting a man like that roam around their hallways during the holiday.
Was he was he a paying customer or something? Why would you blame the hotel?
In my last
I guess
year
they should have security.
My parents pressured me into getting a job to save money before I moved to college. I knew they couldn't offer me much once I left, so I didn't really have much choice. But with school still hanging around my neck, I wouldn't get a job that required real work. Instead, I applied for a part-time position as an elf in the local mall, backing up the visiting Santa Claus. I figured it couldn't be any harder than smiling and helping kids up and down from Santa's lap, and ushering away the occasional temper tantrum, of course.
I feel like this one is gonna be better than the last one. Not in the fact that it's a better story, but the fact that it probably gonna be not as scary or as gruesome as the last one. Well, the last one wasn't gruesome, but poison and the candy cane.
I got the job.
I ain't want no candy canes this year.
And initially, my hopes were high. The man who'd been hired to play Santa Claus really did look.
If you offer me a candy cane this year, I'm smacking it out your hand.
He didn't need.
But like I said, I'm smacking it out people's hands. Don't put it on my face.
Spot on. Plus, the fluffy suit of red and white looked like it had been tailor-made specifically for him. It was still early in the morning when I walked in on my first day. The mall wasn't even open yet, so I thought I should introduce myself before the day began. Good morning, sir. I'm the new helper elf.
Oh, good. Fresh meat. Make a good impression and get me some coffee, dear boy.
The way he spoke threw me off. He sounded like Santa, but he didn't say the things you'd expect Santa to say, or in the way Santa would. I glanced around idly to the other elves, meeting their intense stares. One of them looked at me with wide eyes and said, "Get the freaking coffee, dimwit." I heeded the urgency in his voice and rushed off to the food court. I didn't even know where the break room was, so I had to pay for a cup out of pocket from a restaurant, which was still opening up. When I got back, the elf that spoke to me before was knelt below Santa's chair, polishing his boots.
That must be his son or something.
It was a really strange sight, and it certainly wasn't in our job description.
Ain't no way this guy is taking his job this seriously, unless he's paying him like under the table, or he's like his actual son. Ain't no man telling me. Okay, he's wild.
Still, I didn't want to intervene. So I did my best to ignore it as I handed Santa his coffee.
See this here, dear boy? This is what happens when you speak out of line. Elves need to respect Santa, and of course his beautiful reindeer. Got it?
What's going on, bro?
You mean, yes, Santa.
Right, I'm sorry, Santa. At that point, I could understand why he was calling us dear boys and girls. He had a strange obsession with reindeer, so I assumed the pun was being said intentionally. I began having serious doubts about the job. However, as soon as the mall opened up and kids started lining up to meet us, things got easier. That's when Santa finally got
his eyes.
And for the duration of the business hours, he was the jolly man he was supposed to be. Thankfully, my shifts ended before Santa's, so I didn't have to deal with him during close. For the first couple weeks, every day was more or less the same. Every evening, I'd get home depressed, wondering how such a jerk could be Santa Claus. And every morning, I'd return to be slave to his beck and call. Over time, I found a certain urge of defiance building up inside of me every time I heard him order us around.
He told you once, and you following his... Okay. This guy needs to man up. Bro. It's the holidays. You can get another job. There's plenty of jobs on the holidays. But matter of fact, he could probably be Santa if he wanted to. There's so many Santa Claus jobs during the holidays, bro. And you gonna suck up to this guy because he told you, man,
do this, dear girl, do that.
You deserve it.
Like
you deserve to be an elf.
As if we were dear to his heart in any way. One morning, I went in with a scowl on my face from all the pent-up frustration.
Scowl.
And that Santa poser was right on top of me for it.
Hey, you! You're always leaving early and weaseling out of cleaning. Vacuum the stage, because somebody did a lousy job last night.
By the time I got back with the vacuum, he had another order for me.
You boy, go get me some fresh meat from the food court.
Okay, sir, just as soon as I finish cleaning.
Do it now! Do you want to learn what it's like to be one of my reindeer? They're not even open yet, old man. Give me a minute.
Yeah, there you go. You needed that.
Let slip enough to piss him off.
He needed that.
The other elves stared on in fear.
Dear boy, I'm gonna rip your stupid elf ears off and make them my earmuffs. Leave me alone or I'm calling the cops.
He lunged at me with sudden speed, but he was caught and held back by the other elves.
Oh, this is bad Santa right here.
Oh!
He eventually caved in and exited the mall.
His breath probably stank doing all that.
The only thing left was explaining to the public why Santa had disappeared. We didn't mind. A whole mall full of kids bawling from disappointment was easy compared to dealing with that jerk. We improvised with the picture setup and carried out work for the rest of the day. Unfortunately,
he's probably out there waiting for him.
When I got off, I was walking through the parking lot to get to my bus stop.
Thought you got off easy.
Christmas stocking cap.
You gotta fight for this
dumpster. I could tell there was someone behind there. I crept up and looked over the edge and saw the mall Santa eating the mangled corpse of a deer.
What?
When I first started Eve, I was a minor, and I was really tired of getting bloated.
Where the hell did he get a deer at?
He looked up at me with blood streaming from his mouth and said,
"Dear boy, would you like some venison?
What the hell are you doing?"
What? Can't you see why I call you stupid elves my dear boys and girls now? I ran away as fast as I could, traveling the extra few blocks down the road to wait anxiously for the next bus. When I finally got
should
home,
not be alive.
I stumbled in, shaking, and fell into my
Eating
bed.
a raw deer.
For the next few days, I didn't leave the house. I quit that job at the mall and started applying elsewhere. I didn't sleep well. The image of raw venison between Santa's teeth flashed before me in the dark. By the time Christmas rolled around, I slipped back into my old lazy habits like a coping mechanism. Hey, son, we're going to the store to get some dinner. You want anything? Pizza? Fried chicken? Sure, Dad.
Venison?
How about venison?
Yo, y'all remember, was it a few years back? I think Burger King were handing out, well, not handing out, but Burger King were selling venison Whoppers. I don't know why the chair just dropped. I don't know if that was the East Coast thing or it was the whole thing or it was just like, I don't know, southern states or something. I don't know. Hunting states. Those states that hunting sold venison at Burger King. I don't know. If y'all know what I'm talking about, leave that in the comment section. I didn't try it, but I tried venison once and had it as a burger. And it was pretty good. Had lamb once too.
Everybody knows that mall Santas aren't the sort of people you should readily trust around children, which must be why there's always a crowd of elf characters in that area to keep the costumed man in check. I, for one, am certainly glad that this is the case, but likely not for the reason you'd expect. I have a terribly clear memory of one occasion with one of these mall Santas. I was much younger at the time, young enough to still be interested in the idea of Santa Claus, but more than old enough to have my doubts about the truth of it. My whole family went out to the community mall for some last-minute Christmas shopping. The first thing that caught my attention was the staging area, right inside the entrance, where Santa Claus was granting wishes and taking pictures along with his team of elves. To my recollection, that was probably the most wholesome and charming Santa Claus charade the mall ever had. All the kids in line looked so excited to talk to the one and only Saint Nicholas.
He might be.
I immediately started begging my parents to let me go see him. Mom, can we go see Santa Claus?
Maybe later, honey. The line is too long. We'd be there all day. We should go shopping while we have all our energy.
Okay. But if it's shorter later, can we go?
Sure, sweetie pie. You've been nice this year.
I guess my parents wanted to buy what they could before everything was gone. It didn't make sense to me at first, but the longer they made me wait, and the more times they asked me what I wanted for Christmas, the more it began to dawn on me that Santa Claus wasn't really the person who gave out the presents every year.
And that's how they found out.
Obviously, it was just the parents who bought things for their children. Otherwise, what would be the point of asking Santa Claus to get me something if Mom had just gotten me everything I wanted right in front of me? So, by the end of the shopping spree, I was in a pretty sour mood. I know that every kid has to realize this at some point, but having the magic stripped away so close to Christmas brought on a lot of conflicting emotions for the younger me. But it would only get worse from there. As we were about to leave the mall with our purchases in tow, we all noticed how much shorter the line for Santa had gotten.
Oh, look at this evil Santa right here. It might be the same guy.
At that point, I didn't even want to talk to him anymore. The glow was all gone. And now it seemed like every one of the few kids that were waiting in line were almost scared. Despite that, I just didn't have the energy to say no at the time. So we all shuffled into the queue so I could get to sit on Santa's lap. But as we got closer and closer, I started to see that the line wasn't the only thing that had changed in the few hours since I'd last seen the staging area. Santa Claus looked different. Before, he'd been this jolly old warm and fuzzy-looking grandpa.
What, he got a face on his face?
He didn't even look like the same person anymore. And it wasn't just that his fake beard wasn't on right. It looked like he was wearing some kind of mask. The smiling rosy cheeks from before had turned pale and droopy. I was extremely nervous by the time I got to the front of the line, but I don't think the rest of my family was paying attention. Everybody's just tired, that's all.
Go on, honey. Go get your picture.
Timidly, I stepped up to Santa's lap. Without a word, he picked me up with a vice grip and shoved me down between his legs.
Vice grip? He gripped him up.
And what do you want for Christmas, kid? I couldn't respond. I was frozen with fear I couldn't explain. Well, kid?
That's a zombie Santa.
Spit it out. You're not the real Santa. Huh? What'd you say? Speak up. I'm
you
old.
shouldn't have said that.
I said, you're not the real Santa Claus. You're a fake. I'd seen this movie where a guy tears the fake beard off the mall Santa. I thought it would be a great way to expose this guy who was giving me the creeps.
Oh, you gotta ruin it for everybody.
Oh! And yanked the white ball of fluff with all my might. More.
What? Can you imagine that? You yank somebody bigger than their whole face. Yo! He pulled his beard and his whole face came off. God. Who got the vice grip, man? Who really got the vice grip? This damn kid right here. God damn. Yo. He gripped him. He gripped him. Oh, man.
The entire face peeled off and crumpled up in my stunned grasp. The real face of the man beneath was caked in blood and bits of tissue, grinning at me maniacally with all wretched manner of craggly teeth and sharp features. After that initial moment of shock, he threw me off to the ground and started running for the door. I remember being unable to move, hearing a cacophony of shrieks and shouts and wailing.
His skin is just falling off.
The security guards ran him down with an initiative I'd never seen from a mall cop before or since. In the coming days, we found out that the original Santa Claus actor was discovered in his van out in the mall parking lot, naked, with his face cut off. He went on break and never came back. We never learned that psycho's motive, but one thing's for sure, I will never forget that moment every time I hear the name Santa Claus come up.
What?
You boy!
What just happened? So that guy lost his face and he took the real Santa's face? Nobody knows but you. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Leave me suggestions on some horror stories or some comedy sketches that you want me to react to or see. You know, it's your boy. Join the random squad. The randoms, man. You want to be a part of the randoms or the odd ones? Let me know. And my God.